Hello and welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Campus Live. My name is Sally Sitole and thank you so much for joining me. We start off today's episode by taking a look at the prestigious 11th annual MISTRA lecture. The 2023 lecture was delivered by the former Vice Chancellor and Principal of UJ, Professor Marwala, who is currently serving as the Rector of the United Nations University and UN Under-Secretary General. Let's take a look.
Today we had the annual MISTRA lecture. UJ has a Memorandum of Understanding and Collaboration Agreement with MISTRA. That comes a long way. It's not something new, so it was really great to host this lecture. You know, after many years, where we had disruptions due to COVID, and it was extra special because this was presented by none other than Professor Marwala, the former Vice Chancellor of the great University of Johannesburg. Actually, Prof. Marwala was the second Vice Chancellor of UJ. I succeeded him, and as you know now, he's the Rector of the United Nations University. So it was on AI, and he's the legend in this space, and he didn't disappoint. I mean, the engagement was at another level. We're doing a lot of great things, and or let me put it this way, for those that have been following UJ, they will tell you we are doing, in my opinion, a great job in showcasing the benefits of AI so that people don't fear it. There are a number of initiatives. I mean, we've got a free online course on AI in the 4IR that people can do, at their own pace and get a certificate free of charge. We are hosting the Artificial Intelligence Institute. Early this year, we launched the 3D concrete printing project, that can print a low-cost house in 8 hours. So this is over and above a lot of academic things that we are doing. So this fits in well also in our drive, to ensure that everything that we are doing has got societal impact. So as a university, we're doing a lot of work. Is it enough? It's not enough, So that's why we partner with organizations such as MISTRA, host lectures like this, because it is important to educate the public as well.
Very, very important. The universities must have access to people in the political sector. It must educate people in the society, NGOs, and also on think tanks, just like MISTRA. It should be the mechanism in which we can increase our economic activity. Let's go to work, let us incentivize people so that they can do the work. It is important for us to do the right thing, to invest in technology. Artificial intelligence is just one of the technologies that we should invest in. There are many other technologies that we have to invest in. Let us deal with issues of the security of supply of electricity. Let us deal with issues of education that matters, education that solves problems. And let's get to work.
My name is Lungile Ntsalaze. I'm the Executive Dean for the College of Business and Economics here at the University of Johannesburg. What struck me from his lecture is that we historically know about rich countries, poor countries, and what he mentioned today is that the biggest differentiator is between data-rich and data-poor countries. So that is the key message that I got. And unlike mineral wealth that countries have, data, it's something that is available anywhere where there is life, but to convert it into a usable format that can be exploited for development purposes, there needs to be infrastructure around it. There needs to be a key role played by the government to make sure that there are data collection points everywhere in society, and those collections assist the nation to know where development needs to be forecast. Obviously, as part of his lecture, he also mentioned areas of caution for us, that the AI machines need to be monitored. There needs to be an ethical oversight of what the machines can do. which I think is very important. Issues of bias came in, issues of privacy, and many other things that he raised.
I'm Joel Nechitenje, the Executive Director of the Mapungubwe Institute. This is a very critical event. It's one of the most important events that we hold as the Mapungubwe Institute. It's called the Mapungubwe Annual Lecture, and we invite people who have got expertise in all kinds of disciplines or in transdisciplinary studies to make presentations on major issues that affect the strategic directions of either the country or the continent or humanity at large. We've had many, many lectures over the years, and this is one of the best that we've ever had by a speaker, a professor, who understands the area on which he was presenting, artificial intelligence, but more critically, his ability to articulate it in a manner that everyone can understand.
Well, indeed it was quite an evening, and as one would expect with Professor Marwala, you got a comprehensive treatment of artificial intelligence, applied artificial intelligence, what it is foundationally, how far it has come, the history of AI. It's not a new technology, but it is picking up speed based on growing computational power, based on growing data accumulation, and really some new exciting things, but also some really worrying things are developing, and we've learned quite a lot this evening from Professor Marwala. The Vice Chancellor, Professor Mpedi, is a fan of African quotes, and one saying which comes from Africa is, if you want to go quickly, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. And I think that is the essence of partnerships. Different partners can bring different views, different perspectives, different capabilities, and different networks. So government, private sector, civil society, and so on are all very crucial. And at the heart of what the university tries to do, it is a generator of knowledge, but that knowledge must then go and find application. And at the same time, that application must be under constant review, and that's where academia again comes in. So partnerships are very crucial if our work is to have societal impact.
I think there's a lot of opportunity for applications of AI within our work because of already, part of what it allows for us is the possibility of creativity and also an assistance to us, a lot of the things that we hadn't access to. So if you think about the era of when hip-hop or kwaito comes in, they use technology to, mix, to, the possibility that technology will always make access to people who couldn't have access. So we see it now in terms of the creation of visuals that were not there, that someone else who doesn't necessarily need a whole cast can use the AI to really recreate a whole film without having to have bodies in space and time, but create works of art. Two is to also take that time that it took. It's sad for me as a scriptwriter, but at the same time, it is awesome because the time that it used to take to write a script for 4 or 5 months, now it literally is a week. So in terms of output and production around the concept of like what we can do in terms of shows and what we're doing, so there's much more access. I think also more importantly for me, it's about democratizing the space. So people who never had access to the spaces and having to be able to write and create and make are now are able to do that. If you fail by yourself and it's your fault. But in actuality, there is a space for us to collectively create and make, and that's why it is important to be in a collective, an association, a creative where you are protected in some way, where the mass is able to protect you. But the possibility of AI gives us also possibilities around self-production, like this thing of having to go through school, to become a comedian. Oh well, you could just set up your own things. Go through school to become a filmmaker. Well, you could create this by yourself, So I think there's a lot of possibilities. It's exciting for all of us. But at the same time, I really want us to, not necessarily to be aware, but just to be critical how we're using it and why you're using it, to what end, and to always be in service of the human in service of the greater good, in service of our people. Yeah.
Amazing lecture. Yes. Professor Marwala is amazingly erudite with a huge capacity. I mean, he could move from the French Revolution to economic theory to AI, which was the subject of his address. And I think fundamentally he's saying AI has arrived. You know, we cannot run away from it. Just like the internet, just like electricity, the telephone, you know, this is the technology of our age. And I think his main theme was to try and demystify it. Yes. You know, it's almost like mathematics. You know, they say kids who are scared of mathematics can never, if you like, excel in it, flourish in mathematics. So I think his basic thrust was to demystify AI for all of us, to make it understandable, relatable, and to show its promise, its possibilities, but also its perils. You know, because like any new technology, it is capable of being misused. And I think those are some of the things that he was making sure that we're alive to. You know, but by all accounts, we cannot run away from this. You know, those who do not embrace AI, those who have not developed a strategy for AI, which is unfortunately ours, are going to be left behind. So it's sort of the new, if you like, colonialism. Those who have prepared for this, you know, advance, you know, in knowledge, are going to flourish, are going to do well. And those who have not readied themselves for it will be the perpetual hewers of wood and drawers of water.
Our fingerprints don't fade from the lives we touch. These are the people that keep our great university going, the UJ staff. So let's take a look at what went down at the staff day last year.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Mpumi Mkhize. I'm the Director for Transformation Units within the university. This day today, it happens every year. This is when we come together. University of Johannesburg has got 4 campuses. This is a day where all of us, support environments, academic environments, we come together, we celebrate each other's differences. In order for us to work as a unity and be collegial with one another, we need to first understand who am I before you place me in my box, so that you understand when I respond in a certain way, what are those early messages according to my culture and my ethnicity that guides the way I respond, the way I act as well. Now, we celebrate through exhibiting different ethnic groups, and we select some of the African countries that we work with or where our students come from. So, for example, this year in 2023, we decided to bring it back home. Instead of celebrating ourselves as South Africa, but who makes South Africa? We have AmaZulu, we have AmaXhosa, we have Tsonga people, we have AmaVenda, we have AmaPedi, and what they had to do, they had to first display, we've given them gazebos and tables where they would showcase how that country would celebrate, or things that they eat, decorations and all of that. We judged them on that, together with performances that they exhibited on the stage. It was through music, through dance, however that ethnic groups celebrate. We wanted to see it so that we learn from each other. So we also invited the legends, Mafikizolo, because this is a group that you find when you're attending weddings, any celebrations in South Africa. You find people dancing to Mafikizolo. So we had Mafikizolo performing for us. We also invited a popular celebrity, and he's our alumni, Alfie Mkwanazi, who emceed our program until he had to leave at 1. So this is really us coming together, springing into Ubuntu, we celebrate. We said our theme is Spring into Ubuntu because it's springtime in September, and Ubuntu, it's humanity. It brings us together. It says, I am because you are. Umuntu, ngumuntu, ngabantu. Let's come together as UJ and let's celebrate each other and our differences.
Okay, I'm Giorgio. I come from Politecnico di Torino, Polito. I am here for an exchange program. I am here for 1 week, and today is my last day at UJ, and so I'm really honored to participate to this staff day for the Heritage Month. I was honored to be part of this big fest, since in Italy we don't have so many fests or fests like this. I was honored to know all the traditions, all your culture tribes that have come here. So it has been a real pleasure to take part of all this fest. I think the colors, the faces, the beauty of the people who have participated today, and also the spirit of which they belong to university. All these things. Thank you.
And with that exciting event, we have come to the end of our episode. Until I see you next time on the Campus Live, goodbye.
The University of Johannesburg, the future reimagined.